Thank you for joining the Two Minds Connect podcast, sponsored by Canyon 3D, with your host, Benny Martin and Ty Canyon. Do you have a need for 3D printing products and services? Look no further. Canyon 3D is a retailer of 3D printers from companies like Creality and ANET, along with being producers of our own PLA filament in over 50 colors and patterns. We also have a wide selection of 3D printing resins from Applied Lab work that are built for Formlabs, Anycubic, and Moai printers, just to name a few. We are also a 3D printing service bureau specializing in stereolithography and FDM technologies, using only the best professional 3D printers to produce virtually any model. So whether you need a medical, dental, or general purpose model, we've got you covered. So check us out today at www.canyon3d.com. Place an order using the promo code podcast and get a 15% discount. This offer won't last, so act fast to take advantage of this special offer. Peace.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Two Minds Connect podcast. This is Ty Canyon.
And this is Benny Martin.
All right. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. It's been a pretty good week over here in Augusta. A couple of days it's been nice and sunny. Got some work done to the car yesterday, man. Got a nice radio installed.
Oh, yeah?
Wrangler, and they factory install these standard radios. Don't have any Bluetooth or
for real?
digital functionality. Yeah, man.
Still? Is it what year is it?
It's a 2015.
Oh, okay. Well,
You're probably doing it in the JL models, but in some other brands they still have digital Bluetooth radios installed in that year. Jeep didn't.
Nice.
So unless you had an upgraded model, what's it, a Sahara version or a Rubicon, something like that. But
one of the higher end models. Yeah.
Right.
That's
so I just added that onto my car yesterday.
Nice.
And, got myself a treat so I can get some Bluetooth and digital functionality and just
that's
make
what's
it
up,
right, man.
Yeah, you can roll around listening to the show, man.
Absolutely.
I'm not even gonna lie, man. I listen to a few different podcasts. I love the Jay Shetty podcast. I think he's dope. I think he has a really great show, really great platform. Listen to Earn Your Leisure. Love those brothers. Love everything that they're doing with their movement. But of course, when I get that notification that our podcast is ready after I upload, oh yeah, I'm on my phone listening to it. I'm in the car listening to it. It's dope, man. It just feels really good to be on a platform like Spotify or wherever we want to listen to the show and be able to see my name and your name together, and we're talking about some really cool and really positive stuff. So that's really absolutely, man. You definitely got to do that now.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback what you said, man, it's definitely great to be in the creative process, man, and to be able to do something that impacts people in a positive way, man.
Right.
I'm glad to be able to do it with somebody that I admire.
You're right.
I consider a great friend. So
likewise.
to do that with somebody you enjoy being around and do something that's impactful in a positive way to the world, man, you can't beat that, man. So
no doubt. Yeah, man, for sure. So let's get into it, man. And again, likewise, bro, feeling is absolutely mutual. Definitely love and respect you, and love everything that we're doing with our movement. And it's only going to get bigger, man. So we just going to keep at it and keep giving y'all some things to think about and things to, and hopefully incorporate into your life, because we only come in with the positives. So again, bro, thank you. It's appreciative, and I'm very humbled and honored to be doing this show with you, man.
Absolutely, bro. Same here.
All right, man. So speaking of that, so today's episode, we're going to talk about pursuing goals. So, it's very much subject that, you know, a lot of people may, you know, may or may not think about a lot. I mean, I think for me, you know, goals is something that I definitely, you know, write down, you know, where do I want to be in the next, you know, week, next month, next year, next 10 years. I mean, some people have have a mentality where they, you know, only thinking for, you know, the next day or maybe the next week. And that's okay. I mean, we all have our you know, the things that we prioritize, whether it's family, whether it's our relationships, whether it's our careers. But me, I'm the type of person where I'm planning 5 to 10 years out, you know, because time just moves by so fast, and before we know it, you know, we're gonna be, you know, we're gonna be, you know, 5, 10 years later, and we want to make sure that, you know, the things that we want to accomplish, we can do that within that time frame, and the way to do that is by setting goals. So let me ask you, brother, how would you define goals?
Good question. To answer your question, I'm gonna start off by pulling up the definition, and this
Okay,
is Google.
cool.
The definition of goals is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result.
Okay.
So a person who desires to do something to get a result, like if I desire to walk a mile, what is the end result of that mile? Is it to
Mm-hmm.
lose weight? Is it to, am I walking for a charity to raise money? Or am I doing it for a friend to encourage someone else? What is the ambition for you to reach that end result?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, when you define a goal, what is the reason why you're trying to reach that goal?
Right.
It's not just the end result, it's also the middle way of getting to that end result. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's defined by, just life, everything that you experience being raised, it could be defined by, um, your upbringing, by your
Mm-hmm.
parents. I know people who, when I served in the military, who had parents that served in the military.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason why they went into the military.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your parents can influence and help define the goals that you set for yourself.
For sure.
Be influenced by friends. You can have a group of friends that are gamers,
Mm-hmm.
and you take into the liking or take into the enjoyment of just being a gamer,
Right.
and might want to do that as a profession as you get older, just because
Mm-hmm.
you love it, or become a software developer, or go work for some gaming company because you enjoy that.
Sure.
So goals can be defined by many reasons and many situations and many
Sure.
factors. How
Yeah,
about
definitely.
you?
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I would define it as a means to an end, basically, just to sum it up. I mean, we want to, we have ambitions, we have things that we want to accomplish. So, setting a goal or just a goal, period, is the end result of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So, if I'm trying to get a better, start a business, you know, I'm going to set goals that are predicated on the accomplishment of starting that business or the completion of that. So some goals that may occur in that process is forming the company, figuring out what type of entity the business is going to be. Is it going to be an LLC? Is it going to be a corporation? Is it going to be a sole proprietorship? So setting a goal there would be looking up ways to do that. So going on the internet or speaking to someone who's done it, you can get the ingredients to set that goal from those sources. And then as far as your career, like if you are in a career, you're career minded person, and like let's use IT for an example, since we both have backgrounds in IT, we can look at, or information technology for those that are familiar with that acronym. So a goal in advancing in a career in information technology can be pursuing a degree. So pursuing a undergraduate degree, pursuing a postgraduate degree, where, you know, and especially in IT and any field in the STEM category, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, those are probably the best degrees to get at this stage, because when you look at, you know, other areas, you know, political science and things of that nature, you know, it's kind of difficult to get to start a career and to be you know, have a lucrative career in that starting out. Now, I'm not saying that if you get a degree in that, it's not gonna pan out for you. Absolutely not. I mean, you can make things happen with whatever you have, whatever credential you have. But with the technology degrees and things like that, those are kind of those are gonna more or less put you in a position to earn right away when you learn that type. So that could be a reason why someone may pursue a goal such as getting a postgraduate degree or getting a certification in IT, which is, as you know, sometimes carry a little bit more weight than a college education. So so those are some things that I think that would be kind of my way of defining a goal. It's just a means to an end. So we get you know, we get the career. Now we want to advance the career. What do we do to get to that advancement? So
those are steps that you put in place to reach the goal.
Absolutely.
Oh, gotcha. Understand.
Definitely. So let's talk about, you know, once we define the goal, what are those factors that allow us to obtain them? I mean, what would you say? I mean, I would start out with, you know, financial, but, you know, and we can kind of unpack that a little bit. But what would be a factor that you would think is pretty important?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely environment, and I'm using environment, family and friends kind of together, because they family and friends can somewhat fit into your environment, or they do. And of course, you know, your environment, depending on how supportive and non-supportive it is, can definitely affect how you reach a goal.
Right.
I think when you look at people who have great support systems, like great family life, great friends, people who encourage them or who set them up for success or give them the time that they need to reach their goals. People are set up much more better, or much more successfully
Effectively,
reach, because, you know, they have the people and the environment in place to reach it. I think that is probably, to me, one of the most important factors in reaching a goal.
Right.
Because if you don't have the encouragement and the backing from people in your environment, then it's going to be very difficult for you to reach anything that you're trying to pursue. Not saying it's impossible,
sure.
but it's definitely going to be a huge weight on you.
Definitely. I mean, support systems. I mean, it's vital to have a good support system behind you when you're looking to pursue a goal. So whether you're doing something that requires a financial, you know, a financial investment into pursuing a goal, or just someone there to be a sounding board, you know, where you can talk about what it is you're trying to pursue or talk about a specific problem. You have people that you can talk to that will just listen and not try to give you advice. I give you an example. The couple days ago, I was here at the crib with a friend. I was having a situation with my business where I wanted to, you know, talk, you know, I wanted to send an email to a person, and it wasn't a very nicely written email because it was something that I felt I was very, very upset about that happened, that occurred between me and this person. But I just sat there and just talked it out with my friend. And basically she just sat there and listened. She didn't say anything. She didn't try to say, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Oh, no. She just listened to what I had to say. And I made sure that I thanked her for that. And she's like, well, I didn't really do anything. I'm like, well, you did exactly what I needed you to do, which was for me to talk this situation out. Because I got the email, I read the email to her out loud, and she just sat there and listened. And I could just tell by her facial expressions that it was not a nicely written email, and I probably should not send it. So just having her there to be able to talk about this stuff and say, okay, I don't need you, you don't need to necessarily say anything to get me to change my mind or get me to or get me to do it. I just need you to just listen. And I think that those type of support systems, again, from your family, from your friends, from your coworkers, your peers, that can go a much longer way than just traditional sage advice. So what do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely, man. I definitely agree because, having somebody there to give you some sort of criticism or just to, like you said, just to be there to listen,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're saying something, you can see, like you said, you can see the expression on their face and you can kind of gauge whether or not what you're presenting is good or not
Yeah.
based on their feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And you were able to see that, hey man, this might not be a great
Good
idea to
look.
send out, right? And sometimes, people are able to help us see something in what we're doing that
Mm-hmm.
we might not see. So it's good
Absolutely.
to have constructive feedback from others, even if we might not like the feedback. It still gives us a way to understand like what we're doing, or
Yep.
even if the thing that we're doing is not appropriate for us. We just might not be good at something, but you won't know unless you get feedback from someone else
Mm-hmm.
telling you, hey man, I don't think you should but
Absolutely.
yeah, you definitely need um people to help you see those things that you might not see in yourself.
Right, right. So what do you
I'm
say? Oh, go ahead.
No, so I'm saying the environment, family, and friends is
Oh, yeah,
definitely very critical to helping you define or reach a goal.
no doubt. So what about people who may not have a good support system? What are some resources or what are some things that they can do to to become, to have a support system or have that sounding board? I mean, should they start? I mean, I know for me, like I talk to myself a lot. I do a lot of talking to myself and a lot of self reflection, and you know, it may be in mantras. I use a lot of mantras. But what would you say are some good examples of things that people can do if maybe they don't have a good support system?
Right. Definitely look for people that's doing the same thing as you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would, for me personally, I do a lot of research on YouTube, and I look up a lot of people, not necessarily people. I'll look up a subject that I'm interested in, and I just
Mm-hmm.
find people who are already doing that in that field,
Yeah.
and I just look at what they're doing, how they're doing it, how they sound when they're doing it, how people react to them when they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so there's a lot of resources, especially in YouTube, that will give people will give you an outlook of uh, I guess some sort of feedback,
Mm-hmm.
not from a personal perspective, but definitely this is what I want to do. This is what it looks like in someone else. Is this
Right.
something I pursue?
Yeah.
Um, Also, hmm,
What about meditation? Like I think that meditation is I don't do it enough. I think I wish I did it more. But I think meditation is a great thing to a great resource. I mean, if you don't have people that you can bounce ideas off of, bounce them off the universe. Sit in a quiet room in an area where there's no distractions for 15, 20 minutes, however long you want to do it, and meditate. I think that that's a great resource and a great way to think about and again, those mantras that I mentioned before. If you have a mantra that you like to speak, affirmation or something to that effect, that can help push you toward a goal or the completion of a goal, and is a great factor in the pursuing of that goal. So, what about meditation?
I definitely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you can construct in your mind and see yourself doing in your mind, you can see yourself doing in reality.
Yes.
And the more you do it as a repetitive process in your mind, the more solidified it becomes in your being, and the more likely you can push it out into reality.
Definitely.
And the mind is the initial stage of doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you see yourself doing it in your mind without any resistance, then you can more than likely do it in reality. So
yes,
being able to, sit down, like you said, for any type of or any amount of time that you choose,
mm-hmm.
Undistracted and with no distractions, and just be able to figure things out within yourself. I think that's probably another great another great resource to use in pursuing a goal.
Definitely. So when we're talking about obtaining goals, so what could be some motivating factors for obtaining a goal? I mean, of course, the money is definitely at the top of that list. I think we're all trying to get it. We're all trying to make sure we're good, our families are good, and if we donate to charity, if we if you go to church and you you tithe and things like that, that can be a motivating factor that you may want to help your congregation. But what about what are some other things that you think are some motivating factors?
Yeah, personal well-being is definitely a motivating factor for
Mm-hmm.
pursuing a goal. I know for myself, being in the IT field, and being in some jobs or that didn't really speak to my inner being.
Mm-hmm.
The results that I produced wasn't really um, didn't really reach a person or reach, like it didn't seem fulfilling to me.
Sure.
It was like I was doing the work but not getting any satisfaction out of the end result.
Absolutely.
So to be able to go and do something that fulfills your inner being may be a great reason why someone pursues a goal. You know, people are also, a lot of people are looking for personal fulfillment, something that speaks to who they are on the inside, whether it, is some spiritual pursuit or,
Mm-hmm.
Doing something that speaks to just who they are as a person. It might be a really giving person, so they want to do something around charity.
Right.
They might be a really great speaker, so they want to be on some stage somewhere, giving someone motivation.
TED Talk. Yeah.
Right, TED Talk or
Yeah.
motivation advice. So, that those are great reasons why someone might pursue, just
Yeah, for sure. What about just having a better life, just having a better
absolutely.
livelihood, from a, you mentioned before a health standpoint, but maybe a person is stuck in a career, in a role where we talking about IT, where you sitting down pretty much the whole time, and you're not able to really get up and move around and do things, and and be more active. So maybe a person's goal might be to work in a role or in a career where they are going to be a little bit more active. Also status. I mean, people want to, people want to be in front of the camera, just like, so to speak. And I mean, we're doing that, but it's not for that, purpose. But some people may pursue a goal because it will bring them a little bit more attention, a little bit more notoriety. They could be doing something that's amazing, but they don't have the audience for it. So they may try to pursue a goal of, say, getting more followers on social media or being in a TED Talk. We talked about that just now, but that was a way, kind of before social media and all that really took off, that a lot of people in business and in different industries would speak at these events, and that would draw a lot of following for that individual. So that's definitely something that is a motivation. Then we talk about power. So absolute power. I want to have rule over everything and everybody. Which to me, I don't think people should be ruled and things like that. But again, some people may feel like obtaining a goal to have power or over anything. I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be over people. It can just be over a situation or over their own lives. They want to be more, they want to have more say into what they do on a daily basis. That was something that I was confronted with, where I'm like, okay, I'm in this job. It's not really bringing me any enjoyment, any satisfaction. So I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to do my business full time now and do this wonderful podcast with my brother, and that's given me a little bit more freedom and a little bit more power, so to speak, over my own life. So what about those situations?
Yeah, man, I definitely think that's a double-edged sword, man. Power could definitely be used in good ways and in bad ways. Just like you were saying, like being able to start your own business and do this podcast gave you a little bit more power within your own life to be able to control the things that you want to control. Yep. That's definitely a good thing, because you want to take control of your life and have more power or more self-will or self-power to control your own life and your own destiny. I don't think anything's wrong with that. Yeah. But some people go into relationships, go into certain career fields or politics, just for the purpose of controlling others and controlling how things are run or how societies are run, and for whatever reason, maybe they were raised that way, or maybe that's just something that's within them. We all have different personalities, and some people's personalities are driven around power,
right?
And they need to exercise that power or that personality trait that's within them. Definitely. To figure it out or to see what that is, and we all have, I would say, experiences in life that we need to live out, and they're all different in different forms and shapes. So power is definitely one of them. But that's all. It all depends on how you use it.
Yeah, it's all relative, definitely. Right, I mean, and subjective, because if you gain power and you're using it for good, tremendous. That's awesome. That's what we need more of. We were talking about the book As a Man Thinketh on one of the previous shows, and we were also talking about it before we started recording. And in that book, it plainly points out that our thoughts are controlled. We can control our own thoughts, and then that leads to action. And so anytime you have good thoughts, only good things can happen. But there's, but on the flip side of that, bad thoughts lead to bad actions and lead to bad results. When we talk about politics, we talk about people in these roles, and the author points this out plainly, is that if they used their power more for good, then absolutely, it's without question, things would be a lot better, from a societal standpoint. But again, like, as you pointed out, what's the motivation? What are their motivations? Where do those motivations stem from? And a lot of times it comes from greed. It comes from wanting to see death and destruction, wanting to just try to get over on people. And those are the things that, if we're looking to gain power, and we need to exercise good and not bad, because it affects everything and everybody when we choose one way or another. So
right. Just to kind of to piggyback that, I'm gonna use a personal situation. I'm not gonna
sure.
use names or anything like that, but I know a person who experienced. I know a elder in my family that experienced abuse from his father as he was growing up.
Sure.
And his father had tons of children. And from that behavior that he learned in the home as he was growing up, he thought that behavior was okay or normal. Right. I'm not going to say he thought it was okay.
It's normal.
Because you can learn a behavior and understand that something's not right with it, but because it's so much conditioned in you, you just learn to live that behavior out because you don't know anything to contradict that behavior.
Right.
So he grew up abusing women and having multiple children, because of the situation he grew up in. Now, if you look from the outside on that situation and you didn't know this person and you just heard about him on the street, you could say, oh, this guy was a douchebag or whatever for doing the things that he did.
Right.
But these were conditions that was placed on him that he didn't really understand until he got older and was able to reflect on it.
Absolutely.
So you might be looking at people in positions of power that were raised with a certain belief or certain conditions that they don't really understand that they are put in or placed in until they are old enough to look back and say, man, this was probably not the best course of action that I could have taken in my life, or maybe never.
Right.
But a lot of us are placed in directions in life based on, probably our upbringing.
Oh, yeah.
We might have absolutely no choice in. Just like, I use Black people, for example. A lot of Black people came up in poverty based on the conditions that were placed on us through slavery. And this were conditions that we had no say in.
Right.
How we were raised and the food and the environments affected who we grew up to be. Now,
right.
We're coming on the tail end of that and becoming always great people. But just getting our footing and solidifying ourselves back into the world.
Right.
But you can see how a condition in life can affect how your behavior and who you are is looked at and how you act within a society.
Definitely.
Conditions. So when we look at people in positions of power, we never know, how this person was conditioned to become that.
Yeah, for sure. And great point. And thank you for sharing that. I think that any decision, once you get to a certain age, I think that you can make a choice. You can make a decision that I'm not gonna abuse my kids. I'm not gonna abuse women. I'm not gonna do that. Do these negative things, because it's, not even just because society says these things are wrong. It's just it's plain and clear that putting, anytime you hurt another person, that's not good. I mean, there's no justification for that unless that person did something to you first, and I absolutely will never ever do, abuse my children, ever physically harm my children, because they're precious. They're precious beings. They are they don't deserve it. There's nothing, they can't do anything, especially at the ages that they're in right now, that would make me justify ever physically harming them. And that's a choice that I'm making. That's a choice that, as a grown man, as a father, as someone who brought them into this world, I can make that choice, with that. So I definitely agree, and definitely see your point. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, the conditions that we're in, sometimes it does affect us, but at the end of the day, when we get to a place where we're responsible over ourselves, we can make that choice ourselves, and it kind of just depends on the type of individual that you are. If you want to be you want to evolve, you want to be a person that doesn't want to reinvent the wheel, and keep that, that cycle going, then by all means, that's something that you can do. But if you're the type of person that's complacent and just says, oh, well, that's how I was brought up, so that's how I'm gonna, you know that's a choice that you make also. But I'm not with that. Just because things were a certain way with me, that doesn't mean I'm gonna be that way toward my kids. So, I know we kind of got off the subject, but
Oh, no.
that's a great it's a great opportunity to talk about that. So
yeah. And no, I thank you for sharing, man. That's definitely a very powerful information, because being able to see two sides where a person is able to digest, what's going on in front of them, and decide whether or not they're going to, change for the better, or continue down the same path. Speaks to, understanding a goal in mind, and being able to shift priorities to reach the goal or the end result. Some people might want a better life, or have a better family life, but lack of personal willpower to do anything about it. Sometimes their situations or conditions might have so much influence, or so much influence or power over them, that they feel they don't have the personal will to shift that.
sure.
Or have like we were talking about earlier, the support, or the what's the word for it? Where a person has a way to reflect, or to see something other than what they're seeing constantly.
Right. Okay.
Be able to reflect on something
Yeah.
else, or see the possibility of something else. Like, again, like when you're growing up in a place where it's completely impoverished, or everything is stacked against you, it might be 10 times harder to try to get up out of that position versus somebody who has it.
Right.
It's not impossible, but it's definitely much harder. Definitely.
For sure. And I mean, with that caveat, I mean, why should we set goals? I mean, what are some reasons why we should? I mean, I would say probably the number one thing for me in that realm is decreasing the likelihood of failure. So, if you can write down and tabulate what it is that you want to accomplish. I got a blackboard here in my office. I got all kinds of stuff written out for my business, for my personal life, for things that I want to just accomplish at some point. And I can revert back to that whenever I'm kind of Like, oh, well, what do I need to do? What should I do now? I can revert to that. So that's very important to be able to write down and to annotate the things that we want to accomplish, because then it leads us to a better path towards success, as opposed to just saying, okay, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, well, how are you gonna do that? What are you gonna do to accomplish that? Have you written down have you annotated your workouts? Have you kept a chart? Have you kept a food diary, or have you been fasting? Have you been doing whatever it is that you want to do to get you to that level? Those are the things that we absolutely must do in order to be able to accomplish our goals. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think that's a really great one, man. To decrease the likelihood of failure, man. Yeah, that's probably. I mean, if you have a goal that you're absolutely positively like driven to
Mm-hmm.
um, you want to set yourself up for the least amount of failure,
Right.
or the if you do experience failure, you have a step or a way steps in place to get you right back up
Right.
and back into that direction. So that's definitely a great one, man. That's definitely high on my list as well.
Yeah.
For me, it's definitely being present
Yes.
in the moment.
Yes.
um One thing I learned trying to pursue a spiritual goal, I realized that um, if you're not present in the moment, how do you set yourself up for the next?
Right.
You always, and this is kind of like a catch 22.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, whatever you do right now is what you're doing in the future. You know,
Mm-hmm.
how you prioritize this moment. It's like right now, I know exactly what I need to do.
Yes.
How am I maintaining my resources and doing what I'm supposed to do in this moment to set
Mm-hmm.
myself up for the next moment? So
Definitely.
always being mindful of what you're doing in the current moment that's going to set you up for the next one. So I
Absolutely.
always try to be, uh, always try to understand, like, I need to plan, but I also need to be present.
Right.
Also need to um, put those plans in place right now. I have to
Yes.
understand that, when I have those plans in place, what am I doing right now to make those plans work?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and the consistency. I mean, it's absolutely something that setting goals allows us to do, is to be consistent in the pursuit of that goal, of whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. So um whether, again, I mean, I use the example of losing weight. So, you know, instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in a month, which is very possible, can be done, but is that weight gonna be kept off after you've lost it? So starting out with being consistent in your pursuit. So, 1 week you lose a pound, 1 week, then you might gain it back the next week, but then the week after that you lose three, and then you lose two more, and then you might gain one back. It's just all about just being consistent and just following a path toward whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Things happen, life gets in the way sometimes. We can't do the things that we remain completely consistent throughout the entire process. But if you have a plan, if you have a goal, and you have steps that you want to take within pursuing that goal, again, writing stuff down, annotating things, and keeping track of whatever it is that you're trying to do, then that's absolutely a reason why we should set goals and to stay on that path. So, and then again, like, when we talked before about health and wealth and status and just our overall livelihoods. I mean, those are all tremendous examples of what we can do, or why we should set goals. And if we have people out there who are listening, if you have some advice or some tips on or some things on reasons why we should set goals, don't hesitate to drop us a line and let us know your thoughts on that.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Definitely.
sir. So, yo, go ahead, man.
Definitely want to piggyback you real quick.
Yeah.
Just saying, like, consistency is key. You know, you look at some of the greats out there. I'll mention these guys any day. You know, the Kobe Bryants and the Mayweathers, how consistent they were with pursuing being the great of their sports or their fields, and how consistent they were in their training and their regular, and doing what they needed to do to reach what they had in their mind.
Right.
This shows how you can be, or what your outcome of your goal can be if you're consistent with it.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say focus and faith. And the reason why I say that, I was watching a episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yeah. I love that show.
And Eddie Murphy was on the show, and he was asked, "What do you think is the greatest skill or to pursuing a goal?" And I think he was saying focus. Because he said there's so many distractions in the world, like right now. And when he was coming up, there weren't as many.
Right.
And he said the lack of focus is a lack of greatness.
Yes.
And the ability to focus on something and not get distracted is definitely a key quality to have to attain the goal.
For sure.
Just knowing that you can do it, you know, because sometimes you might not have an image of what that may look like, but you got to have that in your head and have the feeling and the faith that you'll attain it, you know.
Definitely.
And continue to move forward.
Absolutely, man. Great points there. So finally, man, we're gonna wrap it up with some tips. So let's talk about it. We were talking when we were preparing for the show. We were talking about vision boards. So back when Benny lived here in Stuttgart, he had a group that he started called Conscious Connections. And shout out to everybody that was in the group, and I understand it is still going. But one of the activities that we did during one of the meetups was we did vision boards, and I never did a vision board before, and I was like, what is this? You know, we got like stacks of magazines and books and paper and all that stuff. Looked like we were doing like an art class project or something like that. But it was really cool, and it was really dope and inspiring because, you know, of course I did mine, and mine has, you know, palm trees and beaches and, like, you know, sports cars and, you know, watches, you know, all this stuff that, you know, all the, you know, the material stuff that I enjoy. But I thought that those vision boards were very, very was a very good exercise in getting us to see where we want to be and where we want to get to and what goals we want to obtain. Mine is to live on an island somewhere, you know, when I'm in retirement age, and just chill and go fishing and go on the beach and go jet skiing and stuff like that. Like, those are some of my goals and my ambitions. But what do you think about vision boards, man? Do you think that's a good tip?
Oh, absolutely, man. Vision boards are a great way of putting an idea into a physical reality, or a physical way of seeing it, and seeing what it looks like when you reach it. And it helps you to kind of model in your mind those images, and once you have the images in there, you can develop the steps on how to attain it.
Right.
Ron Funches is a comedian, and he has a video online where he says that his first time doing a vision board, he put that he was going to, or he put on his vision board a house.
Okay.
I think a year later he bought his first house.
Nice.
You know, shout out to him and you know, his platform. He's definitely a phenomenal comedian. But that just speaks to the power of vision.
Right.
Of course, you know, if you put something on a vision board and you don't look at it, 9 out of 10 is not going to solidify itself in you. But you definitely want something that you can look at day in and day out. I started doing vision books. I don't know if a lot of people out there do the same thing, but what I do is I take a blank notebook, usually something small, handheld, and what I would do is I will on one page put an image, and write on the other page what the image means to me and how I plan on attaining that image.
Okay.
That way I can, because vision boards are usually pretty big. You're not going to fold that up and put that in your pocket, but in a small notebook, you can sit there in your pocket. If you're sitting at work and you got 5 minutes, you know, you could just open the book, look at the page, read the whole description, put it back in your pocket. So and it also aligns with affirmations too, because you get vision and you're also getting affirmation as well. So
definitely,
it's definitely a double hitter.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. We talked before about support systems. So utilization of our support systems. So talk to me about that. Like what are some ways that we can, you know, utilize our support system effectively to enable us to get to the pursuit of our goals?
Yes, sir. Communication is definitely key, a key way of utilizing your support system, because if you don't communicate to them what you need, then it's hard for you to get what you need out of them. And also knowing if your support system is right for what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
You need to definitely set up or analyze the type of people around you to the goal that you're trying to pursue, and say, you know, are these people, or is this person going to help me reach this goal, or they're going to hurt me towards this goal? So you definitely got to be able to be critical when analyzing the support system around you.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it all boils down to one thing: is just stop telling everybody your business. Like that's something that I have a very difficult time doing, because I get so excited and get so amped up about, you know, the things that I'm doing from a business standpoint, and then what we're doing with the podcast, and you know, my other ambitions that I have and are working toward. And I just want to tell the world, like, yeah, I'm doing this, we're doing that, you know, trying to get this going, trying to getting this popping. But then but there are a lot of people who don't want to see you succeed, who may have, you know, an envious tendencies, and have you know, jealousy and things like that, and they may you know, try to bring bad energy towards you. So again, man, as you pointed out, it's absolutely vital that we ensure that we know what our support system is going to give to us. Are they going to be supportive? Are they going to be are they going to motivate you, or are they and are they going to sit back and listen to you and not try to give you advice and feed you a lot of verbal you know, a lot of verbal you know, thoughts and things. What, you know, so absolutely, you know. And then, oh, I'm sorry, kind of got thrown off for a minute. I was going down this one path. But anyway, it's But if you are in a support system where, or actually a non-support system where people, don't like your ideas, don't want you to pursue your ideas for whatever reason, they feel like what they have to say is more important than what you have to say. That's not an ideal situation when it comes to getting having a good support system. So totally agree with you on that. But then again, there's also budgeting. So not just from a financial standpoint, but also from a time standpoint, because believe it or not, time is our most valuable asset. Money comes and goes, but time, when it's gone, and you can't get it back. So what do you think about, what about budgeting our time and things in pursuit of our goals?
That's a great question, man. There's a saying that where the mind goes, the energy flows.
Yeah.
So, wherever you spend your time, that's where your energy is.
Mm-hmm.
You're constantly spending your energy in a place that is not aligned to your goals or supportive to your goals, then you're just wasting it.
Right.
Um, we all want to enjoy a good life, but also understand that, whatever your goal is, you have to understand the amount of time and energy that's going to go into you creating the outcome of that goal,
Mm-hmm.
creating the processes and everything that goes into that goal. So I definitely agree that time is definitely your most valuable resource in attaining something,
Mm-hmm.
because energy in itself is money.
Yes.
And the energy you spend will create what you get back out of it,
Right.
financially, or the people that's going to come to support you. But whatever you invest in it is what you're going to get back out of it.
Absolutely.
So the time that you spend is definitely crucial to attaining the goal.
For
So
sure, man.
more, man.
Cool, man. Yeah, great point. Great way to break that down. And again, if there's people out there that are listening, if you have any tips on setting goals, please drop us a line, shoot us a drop some comments, maybe even send us an email to Two Minds Connect, info at twomindsconnect.com. So yeah, that was great topic and a great convo, man. So thank you.
Oh, thank you as well, man. I think goal setting and reaching goals is definitely always a important topic.
Mm-hmm.
And with so many distractions in the world right now, I think people need assistance with trying to figure that out in their head. So this is definitely a great topic to assist people out there who are trying to align themselves to their goals, man. So I thank you as well for uh, working on this topic and putting it out there, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. So so let's do some housekeeping real quick. Thanks again to our sponsor, Canyon 3D. Again, we're on Facebook, so hit us up there. Follow us. We're at the number 2 Minds Connect. And then on Instagram, we're at the word 2 Minds Connect. Shout out to our fans, our followers on social media. We really do appreciate everything that you guys are doing to support us and help us, build our cause and our audience. We can't thank you enough. And yeah, I mean, we're really excited and really happy about the future. And yeah, we're looking forward to bringing you guys more heat. So thanks again to everybody. So from us at the Two Minds Connect podcast, this is Ty Canyon.
This is Benny Martin.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a great week coming up, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.